Alberto Giolitti was born in Rome, Italy in 1923. His family owned a well-known ice cream and coffee house, but Alberto's life would go in another direction when he showed the talent for drawing at a young age. He studied art and design in high school and later at the Academy of Art and Architecture. By the late 1930s, he was doing illustration and comic strip work for an Italian publishing house. In 1949, he emigrated to the U.S., where he eventually became a citizen. It was here he began his long association with Western publishing. Now, Western produced comic books that were distributed by their partner, Dell Comics, thus carried the Dell Comics logo. Giolitti's work for Western was prolific and covered a number of different genres. He drew a number of different Westerns, including Tonto, which featured the adventures of the Lone Ranger's Indian companion, Indian Chief, which featured original characters, and Gunsmoke, among many others. Adaptations of fairy tales included Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. An adaptation of Gulliver's Travel that Giolitti drew in 1955 won the Thomas Alva Edison Award for Best Children's Story for children over 8 years old. He illustrated the life of Abraham Lincoln in a 1958 comic book and drew a dynamic adaptation of the movie King Kong in 1968. Science fiction work that he did included a title based on the TV series Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Horror stories included work on the Twilight Zone comic book and another comic book called Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery. Now, Giolitti returned to Italy in 1962 and founded Giolitti Studios, an editorial agency of writers and comics book artists for the international market. But he still produced a lot of work for Western Publishing, which had since broken away from Dell and was now distributing comics as Gold Key Comics. Giolitti is perhaps best remembered for his work on two particular comic books. Turok, Son of Stone, was an original character, a Native American trapped with a companion in a lost valley populated by dinosaurs. Giolitti began drawing the book in 1960, and he was the regular artist until Turok was canceled in 1982. Giolitti also drew 25 issues of Gold Key's adaptation of the original Star Trek TV series. Giolitti was back in Italy at the time the show aired, and he had never seen it. Working from photographs and models sent to him by the show's producer, he did remarkable work. As one fan of Giolitti's work stated, Giolitti's Star Trek characters look good but plainly human, and they resembled their TV counterparts in just the right way, easily recognizable, but not over-rendered like they would often be in later comic adaptations. Giolitti's artwork was dynamic and clean-looking. His characters, regardless of genre, were indeed good but plainly human. His action sequences were exciting and expertly choreographed, so the reader always understood what was going on. His composition skills were superb. This panel, from a Turok story, shows a realistic jungle environment with a sense of depth, and it also uses the jungle to effectively frame and highlight the characters. Alberto Giolitti was a talented and skilled storyteller who left us a large legacy of great stories. Now, the library has 3 books that feature some of Giolitti's best work. Turok, Son of Stone, Volume 8. All the stories in that were illustrated by Giolitti. The last 3 stories in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Volume 1, are illustrated by him, as are the last 3 stories in Star Trek, The Gold Key Archives. Now, if you want more information on Dell Comics and Gold Key Comics, we would recommend the video on the library's YouTube channel titled Dell Comics and Gold Key Comics, A Brief History.